Hello, my name is Dan Johnson, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are back with the Who podcast, and this month we have a kind of impromptu episode as a response to Legend of the Sea Devils, and I'm going to be joined by Will, who is going to
Hello.
be discussing it with me today.
Yeah,
Um,
we're discussing and then rewriting.
yeah, so I feel like I don't want to be too negative about the discussion though, because I think that
No, because it wasn't a bad episode. It was just a mess.
yeah, and I think that it's less of us saying, "Look, we can do better than you." I think it's a
Mm.
case, but I think because we don't have
But we
the
are saying we
hardships.
would write a better episode if we could.
Well,
Hopefully, the way we would rewrite it is better than what we
it's more
chose.
to prove the point that the episode has the promise of something good,
Yeah,
but doesn't know how to deal with it
yeah.
properly.
We've just we'll get to that bit later on. We'll do the review first.
But I think what I'm sort of worried about as it comes off is because we're sitting here going, you could do this, you could do this. We're not taking into the factor of that maybe that was the intention and they didn't have time to film it or whatever. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
because I don't know if you've
And I
heard,
mean,
but I'm sure you have probably heard actually, but did you hear about the stuff with how this was going to be like her regeneration one, and then this one was fitted in sort of fairly last minute? Because I don't know because if I remember the
yes,
filming of
this
it,
was the last. Yes, I remember this now.
this was sort of back ended into the Centenary, if not being filmed at the same time. Because I remember them filming the Centenary, and people were saying that this was we've had shots of them filming the Centenary,
Yeah,
and then
because we've had like filming locations like the guy carrying the box that says
yeah, I
master
think
on
that it
it.
was after that time, but then there was the shot of there's the bit when that creature emerges from the water and there's the guy in the boat. That was filmed while they were filming the Centenary. So I think that
Mm.
the production of this episode was a bit of a mess, and it's kind of surprising.
The
I mean,
jump.
it's kind of
The
surprising to
jump.
it's surprising to maybe like the production people that they actually managed to pull off an episode, and maybe that was more of their concern than actually having something instead of having nothing.
Yeah, we're not saying we could do a better job because we've never actually written an episode. We've never directed, made an episode. But we're
No.
saying if we were forced to, after seeing that, this is how we would fix it.
Then let's have your thoughts on Legend of the Sea Devils. Then
Um, it was just a meh episode.
Hmm.
Nothing excited me about it. A couple of stuff like stuff that everyone's talking about. The jump, the net, the stuff is just like why, like what's going on here. The editing was a mess.
Oh yeah, I think
I can say
yeah,
that from an editor's point of view. The
or just
editing
someone
was
that or just watches a lot of films to say that the
Dan,
fact that
I'm at uni doing media. I can call myself an editor.
but the fact that that guy screams after he's been slashed
No,
just
it was
in the title sequence, just before the title sequence, does make me laugh.
for me. It just the pacing just didn't flow.
Yeah,
Like you'd be in one bit and then we've just jumped to another bit, and then it's like I was watching it going, have I missed the scene? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I think
A
that
lot of
that's been a common thing, hasn't it? With
mm,
that is that it's all been like, have I missed this? Have I missed that? Because it feels like things have been cut out, and I think that things have also been trimmed down. If that makes sense, I think that like even a Chibnall script, I think this is out of all of the scripts that he's done, he's never stooped this low to literally just people going like, this is what this thing is. There's always something a little bit
mm.
more in between it. It's like it's clunky, but there's something in between it. With this one, it was like when that guy was imprisoned in the Sea Devil ship. That's when I like proper faded away
No,
because
for me, I was
messy.
really like not bothered at the start. But it
Mm,
was about halfway. I kind of thought this is getting better.
yeah, I think it's
Um,
because it became more action based, I suppose.
yeah,
And there was a plot there. I think you kind of latched on to that, and the bit of a bit of
there
action, bit of
was
sword fighting.
the plot actually started to happen. Yeah.
But I mean, just I mean, it's kind of been covered by the entire internet now about every
Yeah,
little like
we
detail
are we are a bit late
that's
to it,
wrong.
but there's just a lot of stuff where it just didn't make sense. Like the jewel that like stopped the Sea Devils was just on this man's neck the entire time, and wasn't the bit that is it Ching?
Madame Ching.
Madame Ching.
The pirate captain woman, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, things that I didn't like as well were the pirate treasure stuff and how that was treated in the episode. You mentioned the jewel thing and the guardian thing, and the way that characters' motivations don't quite work. You know, whether she says that she's going to kill him, and then she feels bad for killing him, even though she didn't kill him, like kill the father. You know, the guardian guy,
like,
and like, that doesn't actually track.
What was it? Where she's on the floor, where like the holding the Sea Devil on the floor and goes, he stabs him. He didn't have to kill him. Like seconds later, she kills one.
Dan literally slices about 4 off.
Yeah, Dan slices them all up, and she doesn't care.
I hate that aspect of her character, to be honest. It's something that Chibnall's written, and he's done about maybe 4 times in his era.
And it is the Doctor thing. You weren't meant to kill. Don't kill. Don't kill. Don't kill. But you can't have a go at this one guy because he stabs one who's on the floor because you're holding him down after he's killed his entire crew. Yeah. And then Dan, who's just tagged along with the Doctor, and then she's like, "Oh, go slice them all up. Here's the sword."
And there's also that sort of it's weird how Chibnall's only had maybe 28 episodes. Yet I feel like he's repeated himself quite a few times. He's repeated the whole. I didn't even realize this till the other day. But the whole, I'm going to sacrifice myself and kill the Sea Devils, essentially, and blow the ship. And then a bloke walks in and just goes, "No, Doctor, I'll do it." All right, then go ahead. So then they end up doing it.
That's happened so many times, hasn't it?
It definitely happened twice now.
Timeless Children.
Yeah, I can't think of any more.
It was the Old Man.
Yeah, Timeless Children and this one. It's like if you're repeating ideas when you've essentially done.
Yeah, Doctor's
Flux was one story.
To sacrifice herself.
Yeah, like I just feel like it's like why are we doing that? Like, was it really necessary for this plot point? It's like it felt to me as if Chibnall was struggling to create ideas for this story and was running out of time. And I feel very sorry for the other writer, Ella Road, who this is like her first work on Doctor Who, and she's been given
did
this.
She write?
I don't know, to be honest. Maybe the idea was hers, but I don't know. It could be that she wrote the dialogue during the Tasman scenes, or like it could have been anything.
We talk about Tasman.
We can do if you want. If you want to, I'm quite happy about it, to be honest. Like, I don't really care that much for it, but
I don't care.
I don't mind it.
But it just feels hollow. If they kiss, it's great. LGBTQ plus representation, all that jazz. Woohoo! The Doctor, doing
the Doctor doing things.
The Doctor kissing, same sex, blah blah, amazing. Woo, go LGBT, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd just feel hollow.
I think that
it wouldn't feel like a deserved kiss. It will just feel like fan service.
It's weird actually, because I agree with you, and I think that a lot of it is undeserved because they did the whole thing when they set her up with Ryan a little bit, and then like the following episode they're talking about her being a lesbian when her mum, or at least bisexual, when her mum says something along the lines of, "I thought that you were. I never knew whether you liked boys or girls or something like that," and she thought that the Doctor was her girlfriend. I think I haven't watched Arachnids in a long time.
Something like that.
But there's a moment like that.
It's just, I always keep going back to it. But the Doctor and Rose, right? They have their thing. They'd smile at each other. They'd hug each other. They'd be all happy all around each other. Yasmin and the Doctor just don't have that.
Yeah, I think there's bits of it, but it's like the subtle groundwork. Like if you take, this is a weird. Take Sex Education, right? Take that whole like journey that these characters have been on for like 3 series now. So when it gets to the payoff of, or if you go with any comedy or anything like sitcom based, like The Big Bang Theory, anything like that always has that groundwork set over like months and almost seasons. And because of that, it feels earned when they become the together. And I think with this, we haven't had proper confirmation of it, like that relationship, till January. And now we're here, and it's like now they're declaring love for each other. And next, what, it's like next,
Yeah,
then
was it
they get
really
married.
shown in series 12?
Jumping seasons.
Was it shown in series 12?
It was. I think it was still fairly subtle, but there's that bit when she's like, "I don't want you to go," and during the time as children, and she's like, "Yaz, stop following
Yeah, but
me."
then there went like, obviously, the thousand people were like, "Oh my god, it's gonna happen" when all that stuff came out. But as an average viewer, I just thought she just likes the companion as a companion.
I can see it probably because it's been pointed out, and it's wishful thinking on part of the fandom for it. But my mum, like, she's completely bewildered by it because she doesn't understand where it came from. Not like, just where it came from, like how it appeared. Because for us, we've had it since like 2018. Of this
but
kind of stuff that's developed its own.
Though? Because the Tasman stands have been like, "Whoa, yes, this is going to happen. Look at the way she looked at her. Jesus Christ, it's gonna happen." But as someone who, I'll repeat myself before, but like from someone who just watches it, it's just they've just looked at her in a nice way, like she cares about her, like a friend.
Yeah, it doesn't
not
necessarily
as in
mean it's
I want you or I love you.
Yeah, hot steaming relationship.
If they hot steaming. Dad, Jesus Christ. Talking about Doctor Who, and he's all getting all hot steaming relationship about it.
That was the most like naive thing I think I've ever said on the podcast. Is hot steamy relationship.
Gotta keep it, lad.
What a weird statement. Yes, but
no,
yeah, I agree with you, to be honest.
It'll just feel hollow because it hasn't been set up.
Yes.
It's just been this thing like Chibnall's gone, fuck you now. Or like the fans have gone, yes, please, just please. None of it, like, all these people, it's woke, pandering, blah, 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 but it's not, it's fan service.
Yeah, it is. Do you know that whole thing about how The Rise of Skywalker was like written by Reddit?
Yeah.
And it was written off fan
BBC
theories.
has gone to Chibnall going, the Doctor's got to be lesbian.
No, I think it was something he chose to do, but I think it's more of a idea he picked up and did not plan from the beginning.
Definitely did not plan it from the beginning.
But it's been a while since we've had a Doctor companion relationship, so I can't say I'm completely planning about it.
Because no one likes them.
I've never been to. Well, I liked it when I was younger, I think.
Yeah, you used to love Doctor Tennant Rose. I was like, why?
But I think now it doesn't.
No one likes
track for me.
That's why the best series is series 4, because it's just the Doctor and a good friend.
And I like Martha's element as well. Yeah.
Because Martha had so much potential, but it still comes back to, I just love you. Like, yeah, I love David Tennant as well.
I suppose
that's
it is.
That's why series 4 for me will always be goated.
So shall we begin our? I think we've kind of covered everything. Shall we begin our rewrites?
We're nearly left. Oh God, I'm trying to get up my notes and I keep clicking leave.
Well, shall I go first and do mine? Because I think mine's a lot shorter than yours.
All right, no competition now, lads. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Well, I just made simple notes as we discussed the other day. So, what I thought I could do was involve the Sea Devils a bit more. Okay, and I tried to include some kind of like budgetary or like restriction on myself. Because I think it's quite simple to say you can do this, you can do that, but the time and the money's not there. So I thought I'd kind of restrict myself a little bit. So I've thought that it'd be cool to do like a warring fractions of Sea Devils.
Factions,
not fractions.
Not fractions. Fractions are the things you do in maths.
Factions. Yeah, I'm gonna warring tribes of Sea Devils. So one Sea Devils group are like extremists, and they want to see it all end, right? They want to see like the humanity end, and for the new line of Sea Devils to continue. Yeah.
You know, when we were coming up with this list, we've got to keep the same premise.
Have we? No, it is the same premise. I've just changed it slightly.
Warring factions of sea devils. One wants to see the end of humanity.
As they do in the episode.
All right, okay, I'll let you.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
fair.
so
Okay,
it's the same idea, but then you
All
could
right.
introduce a kind of like good, nicer side. So you keep the pirate stuff the same, right? And then you've got
All
like
right.
a more like a more passive sea devil, if not
All right,
a
okay.
couple of sea devils.
I'm sorry. I take it back. I have the stage.
With maybe like a slightly different costume that's closer to their counterpart, but you're not going to see too many of them. So then you have
the ISIS of the Sea Devils.
Essentially, yeah, a terrorist group of sea devils is
right.
kind of what I'm going for. And then the Doctor could be actually used properly with her whole moral stance stuff, and stand in between those warring fractions, warring factions. But yeah, and try and like stop a civil war between the two. And she can then debate like
it's still set in China.
Yeah, with the pirate stuff. Because the pirate stuff is there because
are we getting to the pirate stuff?
Yeah.
All right, okay, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to work this out. So the TARDIS lands and then two sea devils are just attacking each other.
Well, I think I'd probably go with more of like a sea creature, like Kraken style stuff.
Okay.
Initially, anyway, because I think that
more of a
big
Western
creature, that big creature.
Not cowboy Western, like Western with like pirates and shit.
I don't know what you're talking, but as in, I would go for thing like so. I'd go for like the Kraken mythology. Is it mythology?
Mm-hmm.
You know the idea, the story of the Kraken. I'd make like a real Kraken, which is basically what they've done in the episode, but utilize it better because I'd actually treat it as a Kraken instead of it just disappearing like 30 minutes in when the Sea Devils show up properly. And they're kind of like that's the main bulk of like the bad side, I suppose, of the Sea Devils, right? The pirate side. They've got that, and they've got like a pirate ship, and they've like stolen things. I worked it out earlier, but they've like stolen pirate pirate cutlasses and things like that, so that they could gather this thing that they're after in the same way that they do in the episode, to gather this jewel and take it, or use it rather, to create the flood as they do in the episode. So that remains the same, but then you get that nice dynamic where the Doctor is not just learning things, but she's actually trying to solve the issue before it gets out of hand, and trying to stop the two parties from killing each other and then the planet in the middle of it. I think the biggest change that I would make to the episode, though, and this is what I think is probably the best bit I've done, is I would actually get rid of the two male characters.
That's what I've done.
They're gone.
Done that. They're gone.
I don't like them that much. I think Jihan is more of a plot device than a character. He's there to give some exposition, and I think that the whole thing about him with the ship, I think it's how they get the ship essentially.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is how they get the ship.
But I think that going with the whole Davy Jones's locker, like the Kraken things attached to the ship, and we're going to take its booty and use it ourselves, I think works better. So that they're kind of like a mishmash of pirates and sea devils, where they've nicked things from different crews. But then it would also allow us to focus a lot on the Madam Ching character, where she can actually get some proper screen time and actually develop a historical character a bit more. I did do some reading up. I don't know if you did, but I did have a look at her on the internet.
I will do right now, Dan.
Okay, yeah. So the first link that I looked at talks about how that she had this sort of moral code, and she was feared as a pirate by even her husband. It did say that she later married her adopted son, which is something you probably wouldn't include. Maybe the adopted son is the other male character, by the way.
Right. Because so Dan's having incest in his Doctor Who
story.
No,
I'm not doing that.
Stepmom, you can't come in.
I'm planning to. I'm saying that they shouldn't include that, but I think it's weird that her son was adopted by her, who was like
hell, she looks a bit scary, doesn't she?
Yeah, but her son was adopted by her like through the crew, like a captive, and she adopted him in the same way that she does during the episode. That's what I mean. Uh, but then I would focus a lot on her moral code and her quest to
Works
find
as
the
a
treasure.
prostitute. Do you have that in the
I
episode
did
as
see that.
well?
No, but no, I will not be including that in the episode neither, because the BBC and at 7:10, I don't think they'll be a fan of that. Although they did involve an ear. They were allowed to show an ear, which
But
was
whose ear was that?
a crew member's ear that was used to kind of like allude to the idea that her crew's in danger if she doesn't get the treasure. So, but I would keep that
Oh
bit
my
the
god,
same.
she's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, I think
Which
she
is
is.
Mistress Ching.
Yeah, maybe it's a riff on it, if not anything else.
Yeah, it is.
But I would keep her plot the same. I don't know what you've done, but I would keep her plot the same. Will.
Yeah, I pretty much left her the same.
Because I've got rid of these two male characters, it allows us to actually have some time with the Madame Ching character. We can actually explore her quest for this treasure, and that's also heavily involved in the episode properly this time, instead of not being kind of being in the background like a side plot in the episode itself, where we see her trying to get her treasure that is in the middle of like this warring fractions of sea devils
Factions
between the two of them, and that's kind of her sole interest, is not looking after the Doctor or looking after anything else, but just trying to get her treasure and save her crew. And she can ruthlessly kill sea devils and all this kind of stuff, and that even though the Doctor doesn't agree with it, she understands that it's within her character to do so, and she's a desperate woman, I suppose.
How would you wrap up the episode? Like, how is she getting rid of the Sea Devils?
Well, I would have the end of the episode will be much the same. I think, to be honest, it won't change too much.
Yeah, I've pretty much kept it the same. Although I've no, we'll get to mine later.
Yeah,
but the finale of the actual episode, I've pretty much kept the same.
I would keep it pretty much the same as well.
Although, what would you do with the sacrifice? Because you haven't got the male character.
There won't be a sacrifice.
The Doctor would just do it.
I think that what you do is you'd have them like escape, and then the whole thing would. But you just wouldn't have the whole. You've got to sacrifice yourself in order to. You just have them escape the pirate ship and into Madame Ching's pirate ship, and that would be the cliffhanger. Or maybe like that Kraken thing just swallows up the ships, and it sort of wades through and disappears to become this like part of like mythology, this sort of folk tale, in the same way that the folk tale of like the Loch Ness monster exists. So does this thing really actually swim under the water in real life? No, but in the Doctor Who world it does. It's actually there, and it it's the remains of the Sea Devils. And I think it'd be important as well to keep the whole warring factions to keep them kind of like still in a little bit of a grey area. Like, I don't think you could easily sway one way, if that makes sense, because I think it's important. Well, I mean, obviously it's us, so it's us that is going to die if the other team win. But I think that the Doctor will try and keep that kind of like non-judgmental, like, we're not going to like your anger, your anger against humanity makes sense, and humanity is really the bad guys here because they have taken over your world unintentionally, but they do not deserve to die for it. So then she kind of sides with both teams, and I think that that's kind of the most interesting bit you can do with the episode, and I think it will improve the Sea Devils, because the Sea Devils were never really evil in the same way that the like Silurians and stuff were never really evil. Is that sure they had like evil factions as they did in the episode in series 5, but they were always fairly passive.
They were. I've not seen the classic episodes.
No.
I got bored, to be honest. I fake fan, cancel me.
Sea Devils is a weird one though. To be fair,
Is it?
yeah, it's 6 parts, and the pacing on it is proper weird. Well,
It's
I
third
like it anyway.
Doctor, isn't
It
it?
is Third Doctor. It's him and Joe and the Masters in it. Yeah, it's a pretty. I enjoyed it. But it's
You
just
said I should watch
badly
Classic
filmed.
Who again.
Yes, I think well, at
Okay,
least
I'm
watch
just gonna,
some of
I'll
them.
give it a shot.
I did enjoy Warriors of the Deep, which I did not expect to do. But
That's the last one they're in, wasn't it?
yes, and they were definitely an aggressive force within that episode. But I think it would be interesting, especially for Jodie's era, to show this kind of. I think that a lot of her villains haven't really fitted in with this era of them being they're passive, aren't they? A lot of them are passive, but you're never getting really both sides. So it's like you've got this boring passive villain, but with this you can get both sides. You can get two evil. You can get something evil out of it. So you have that established threat, but then you've also got a good side to it. And I think that works quite well for her era. So the episode has the basic structure that it does within the episode itself, because the resolution's basically the same and a lot of the plot points are the same, but wiping out those 2 male characters, which is the biggest thing that I do within my rewrite, is by getting rid of them, you can devote some time to Managing, devote some time to actually setting up this pirate captain, treasure hunt thing going on, and you can wipe out a whole bunch of silly expositions, silly lines. With the companions, I think that the Doctor's in this warring fractions, and so is Yaz, and then you can have Dan or even Yaz, it doesn't really matter, but Dan could be on the other side. So if the Doctor's talking to the bad
I've
Sea Devils, put Dan with the good Sea Devils and trying to sort of understand their side of the story, and it means that he can actually have something to do that concerns the plot, and has then a stake when it comes to the actual confrontation between the 2 Sea Devils during that final scene. So instead of the Doctor and the crew fighting the Sea Devils, it becomes the Sea Devils fighting each other. I mean, there's only probably about 4 or 5 of them, but they're having an altercation, which then they're in the middle, and they all have stakes within it because they've actually heard either side of the story. It's just weird having 3 companions, because it means that you essentially need 3 angles.
So I was rewatching Torchwood the other day, right?
Yeah.
Chibnall wrote most of it.
He did. He wrote some of it.
Do you think he chose to have 4 main people at the very start because he thought he could write Torchwood?
But Torchwood doesn't really focus on the crew as at once. It does always focus on one person.
That's the thing.
Owen gets a lot of time.
An episode based on one person of Doctor Who,
especially with Doctor. Yeah, especially. I mean, you can kind of do it with Torchwood.
If it's the 2 people, you can have a companion episode, you can have a Doctor episode.
Yeah,
but you can't have a Ryan episode, a Yaz episode, a Graham episode. That's why it didn't work with them for. I think
they can have their own sort of they can have their own key moments within it, so it kind of revolves around them. But they need to have things to do within the other episodes, because otherwise there's no point paying attention to them in episodes that they're not the sole focus.
Which is what they were most of the time.
Yeah, and that's the issue with having 3 companions or three members of a TARDIS team, is that you have to come up with something for them all to do. It's why I think 2 always works best, because you can have the Doctor and then you can have a separate thing. So that's how I would always do it. If I had a choice, I would stay away from high amounts of TARDIS members,
or have one and then the second one is in the first one but not part of the TARDIS team and gets introduced, basically Rory.
Yeah, so someone that appears and then doesn't appear and then comes back out, and when the plot chooses them to. So that's mine. What do you think of that? Will, what's yours?
Right, so mine starts off a bit differently. So there's none of this flashback stuff of him giving him the necklace. That's the keystone.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, in the episode, I mean, he doesn't even like wear it. As
It doesn't show. It looks
in
like
the
a string.
statue.
It goes, keep it safe. You can't see it. It don't glow or anything. It doesn't look special, does it?
I thought the keystone was in the statue.
I thought it was. Because it's keystone.
Yeah, it's not. There's not two of them.
Anyway, well, I've changed that in mine.
Okay, go on.
So, the gang. I'm just reading my notes. The gang arrive. None of this flashback stuff, and Yaz finds a dying person on the floor. So the village has recently been attacked. Yaz finds a dying person on the floor. No, obviously can't say anything about what happens, and he just points to the sea.
That is cool. I like that. Yeah, that's good.
So none of this, you don't see the sea devils. He just points to the sea.
So that, and also it means you don't have to flip and shoot an action scene in which the sea devils, cut away, insert shots of, swiping.
No, yeah, like it could just like point to the finger and it slowly just zooms in on the sea. And then like the tides could start the titles in a way. The doctor turns the corner and sees Madame Ching breaking the statue and assumes Madame Ching did that to the village.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor, the guy, like, you can't do this, can't do this, blah, 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 blah. Ching whips out a sword and says, you're coming with me. And the doctor and the gang are taken as prisoners onto Ching's ship. A bit like the same with Dan.
Yeah.
And the guy. But instead, again, in this one, I've got rid of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we see, before I move on too much, we see Madame Ching breaking the statue. So again, like that is the keystone. The keystone's in the statue because for some reason it wasn't in the actual episode. Blah blah blah. Exposition about what happened to the village. Like it wasn't me. Ching's like, it wasn't me. I came to find crew or something. I was just scavenging. I don't know. I wanted to keep. But then I'm not sure about that because I want to keep her reputation of being a big scary pirate. And I'm like, oh, I'm out of crew. Do you know what I mean?
Well, she hasn't got any crew.
No, she hasn't got any crew.
Is she still looking for the treasure in your version?
No, I've got rid of the treasure. That didn't make sense either.
So there's no treasure. So she's just
trying to find. Basically, she's what like Ji-hun is now. She's lost her crew and she wants answers. So it's set up as this mystery of what happened.
Right. So she does not know what happened to her crew. And she's trying to figure out what.
So yeah, she's trying to figure out what happened.
And she's in the village because she's scavenging for stuff.
The stuff. Because she's got no crew, or she's trying to find crew or people with a crew. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's come on land. Yeah. Okay.
Suddenly, Ching's ship is attacked by the ghost ship.
The Sea Devil ship that they make. Yeah.
Yeah. They've just nicked a ship. It doesn't have to be an important ship. It's just a ship.
Yeah. I did the same.
And then the thing in Ching's pocket starts glowing when the ship emerges. The bit of the statue, the thing that she's taken from the statue, that starts glowing.
Okay, yeah. Is the Sea Devil on attached to this statue?
What?
So this is a Sea Devil statue that she takes it from.
Yeah.
Is there still a Sea Devil in that statue? On that statue?
No, it's just a statue.
Actually, I think that the statue is also like the prison of that Sea Devil as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of Moon Knight vibes, isn't it?
Not at all.
Yeah, the thing in the her pocket starts glowing, so it's established that has some connection to the ghost ship.
Okay.
During the ship starts firing like cannons and all this stuff at them.
Mm-hmm.
During this, the Doctor and Yaz escape. Dan's left on board. The Doctor jumps into the water, which means the Sonic stops working.
You've got rid of the Sonic.
Got rid of the Sonic.
Okay, nice.
Don't need
the Sonic gets water damaged.
The Sonic, I don't care. Just get rid of the fucking Sonic.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's a sense of retribution in that, isn't there? That you've got rid of the Sonic.
I want to get rid of the Sonic.
Right. So the Sonic's gone because she's jumped in the water.
Yeah, so it falls out of her pocket or whatever, water, physics, and that shit.
Yeah.
Yaz and the Doctor make it to the TARDIS and travel on the same spot, just back in time. This is when the underwater scene happens.
Yeah, as they do in the actual episode, because they go back, don't they?
They go back, yeah, but they travel different spaces, don't they?
Yeah, because they travel to.
Oh, they travel onto the ship, and then obviously the ship moves because they move back into. Yeah. Well, this, the land moves, not the ship, because the gravitational. That's how this gravitational field pulls land over time.
The gravitational pull.
So when you skim stones,
yeah,
the land, it has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the water. In this one, it's pulling the land.
Right. So
just because it felt a bit more of a mystery than just, oh, we're now underwater because the ship's moved.
Okay, so land has been
pulled.
We
can't write Doctor Who, let's just admit it.
So land has been pulled from the side.
Yeah.
Where is this land gone?
No, so they've travelled back in time.
Okay.
So the Doctor's just that much of a panic to just get out. She just pulls the lever and just goes somewhere. She doesn't go, oh, we're going to go back to this spot.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't go this time. Okay.
Yeah. She's absolutely exhausted, so she just gets in and pulls the lever, doesn't think where she's going. Both can talk going, Doctor, where are we going? Anywhere about here. And then but Dan, we'll come back for Dan.
Abandon Dan.
Doctor. I saved the day and all that, blah, 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 blah. And then turns out, they travel back in time, quite far, let's say. Yes. They travel really far back in time because the continents and all that shit.
Uh-huh.
They move, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So this is forget about the gravitational pull. They travel back in time, right?
Okay, yeah. Because gravitational pull pulls things down.
Yeah, dinosaurs or something. The underwater scene happens.
Right.
And then the rumbling starts. Oh, what's this? It's the big scary fish monster.
Oh, because the Sea Devils had the Earth before. Yeah, okay. Because there was that whole. I don't know if it's true, but it's believed that the world started off as a big island, essentially.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And then split apart to make countries and stuff.
Yeah, so the Sea Devils obviously had the world. So the Silurians on the land.
Yeah, and Sea Devils in the water.
In the sea. Yeah. I knew that.
Okay, so this creature has risen, Will, from the water.
From the water.
At the dawn of time.
Jesus Christ, big fish.
That line exactly.
It's cardboard box. Little song montage starts. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
So she runs back in the TARDIS, but as she's pulling the lever, this big fish monster swallows her.
Her or the TARDIS?
It's not swallows the TARDIS. Sorry, swallows the TARDIS. So basically, I've kind of nicked this from Deep Breath.
Okay.
Because she pulled the lever.
Oh yeah, I see.
The TARDIS goes forward in time. So does the big fish monster.
Yeah. Okay. So then instead of the Sea Devils, so do the Sea Devils have the sea monster? Is that their ownership, the monster?
Yeah, because that's their base in it, the big sea monster.
No, that it's their guard dog. Because I didn't realize this the first time.
I thought it was inside the sea monster.
Do you know when the creature, when it grabs the TARDIS, it pulls it down, and there's the bit when the Doctor's talking about how they've made fields so that the water doesn't come in. I think it's because they've basically, because during the ground crumbles, I think they've built an underwater city where the Sea Devils were living. So
not explained.
No, it's not. It's butchered, but that's what's happening, I believe.
Okay, so underwater city, fair enough, right? So yeah, this one, the sea monster comes with land, Sea Devil. Yeah, so it takes the big monster with them back to the future, and then the monster spits out the TARDIS.
Yeah,
Wood can't eat it. Plot coincidence. Where does the ship land? Only on the Sea Devil ship.
The ship.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, pirate ship. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
we keep seeing
the
Diaz and the Sea Devil going, what the fuck's going on here, mate? You know all that stuff. We keep that. It was all right. The Doctor doing a bit of doctory stuff. We like that.
Beautiful bit of improvisation.
It was absolutely amazing. Right. And then
like Boris Johnson.
Oh no, the Sea Devil's taken a prisoner, Dan.
Who?
Should I say
Is it
prisoner? Dan. So they're taking Dan as prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then basically the finale happens, but instead of saving Chi-Young, they save Dan.
Okay, so you've replaced so your plot is
because only for me, I didn't enjoy the first half. The second half worked fine.
Apart from the fact it was badly delivered.
For just the first half, it was getting to the third act, which didn't work for me.
Okay, so what
instead of the Sonic, and then instead of a Sonic and everything, she's actually got a flip, dip, blop, 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 Doctor stuff.
Okay, so what you've done
not just a big red fucking button though.
So you've had there'd be a mystery of what they're fighting at first instead of just see them showing up. So then there's that, and then there's the whole bit with Madam Jing where they're on the ship, which is still part of the first act. Second act, the Doctor
has escaped.
Leave Dan to his own devices.
Dan can fight. Oh, well, there's also scenes, that are them still fighting. That Dan's like, "You need us alive." Blah 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 blah. He improvises why he wants to stay alive.
Yeah,
that's in there as well. I didn't put it in the notes, but yeah.
Okay, and then they're eaten by this big creature, as they do in the episode.
Big fuck off creature, yeah.
But once they're in the past, and then they travel to the future, in which then the Sea Devils then. So they lose their creature in the past, and then they get it again in the future.
Yeah, basically. Or does the creature have anything to actually do? It's just a dinosaur, Dan. It adds up to pirate sea creatures. So it's nothing to Sea Devils. It's just a big creature.
So yeah, okay. So and then the Doctor inadvertently creates the whole Kraken mythology because she's brought this creature with her by accident.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's good. So it actually doesn't have anything to do with the Sea Devils, right?
Nothing to do with it. It's just because they've gone back in time to dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah, so
big fish.
Yeah, okay. So the Kraken's basically, I think the Kraken was like an octopus.
Really. The Doctor fucked up.
Yeah, so it's like when the Doctor created, did the Big Fair of London, the Great Fair of London. The Fifth Doctor created the Big Fair of London. He dropped
That's the story.
Yeah, it's called The Visitation. He's fighting creatures called pteroleptals, and during the final fight, I suppose there's a bit of and they kind of barge into each other and stuff, and they're barging into each other, and they're holding like a flame, one of the pteroleptals, and he knocks it and it hits into the into like some hay, and it causes a fire. And then as they leave, the Doctor's like, "We better go." And then all the side characters that live there's like, "I better help with this giant fire." And the Doctor's like, "We've got to go." And then it as the TARDIS disappears, it says Pudding Lane.
Oh my god!
As they do it, but I know I like that. I like that element actually. I think that's good. I think there's definitely the element of the Kraken or some kind of like sea creature there, isn't there?
Because it's pirates. Like there's always talks of we've all played Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I mean we've been attacked by Krakens at like 2:00 in the morning.
What, the big shark
screaming away.
Megalodons.
So then, okay. So
we've also got some at the end though.
But my question now is, I think so. You kind of got everything.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So what is the plan of the Sea Devils? Then is it the same as it is in the episode?
Yeah, to get the keystone.
To get the
That's why they attacked her
keystone
ship.
and then to destroy land.
Yeah, because it was a fair plan. It's just the keystone's actually in the fucking statue and not around the guy's neck.
Right. And then oh yeah, yes. I've just remembered that in the episode, that keystone that the Pirate Queen takes is actually a fake one, and he has the real one.
Never explained.
It is explained, but it's like so quick that you basically fade out. You forget. Okay, and then what about Madam Ching and her? What's her plot of the episode? So you've got rid of the treasure. So what does she do?
Oh, she's just there.
So she tags along with them.
You know, like in most Chibnall scripts, you got the famous name that's just there.
Okay, so
no, I'm joking. She can get a crew back at the end.
If you've got rid of the treasure, then what's her purpose?
To get a crew back.
And her crew have been taken by the Sea Devils.
Yeah, go on then. They're put to slavery work.
Because they're land crawlers. They're not.
Because they're land crawlers.
Because they're land crawlers. They're not actually worth. Like they're like slaves to the Sea Devils.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
They just put them to work to keep their ship going. Oh, boys, we're too good at this.
Yeah. So okay.
Like Chibnall, we make it up on the spot.
So then her crew has been held captive by the Sea Devils that are using them for work as their crew on their ship.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how that would work with COVID restrictions of how
many
people you can have, but still.
It's fine. COVID's not real.
And then a few. So okay, I like it. So then those Sea Devils have been.
Guys, don't listen to some buffoon on the interwebs.
So after that point, and you have the whole. So I like how you've done the crew actually, and that's cool. And I like how you did the Kraken thing and the whole like the Doctor is responsible for it. And you've done the Sea Devils have remained the same in your plot though, more than mine have.
Yeah, because it weren't the Sea Devils that were the bad thing. Like they were written well. It's just the story wasn't written well.
I think it was just because. They were good enough as Sea Devils, but I think the interesting thing when I wrote mine was that the Sea Devils were, as I mentioned, passive or more passive than other creatures have been, and especially with Silurians as well, they were fairly passive. I mean, they were more aggressive, but
but I guess if you're in pirate times, you've got to learn to evolve to become aggressive.
Okay, how did the Sea Devils get there? Oh, how did they wake up?
No, the whole time, Dan.
Okay. What? How did they wake up?
They're just there. Sea Devils, Dan. From the very beginning of man, of the earth, the Sea Devils have been there, Dan. They're just there, bro.
I know, but I thought maybe because you like because the Doctor must have awoke them or something when that creature came back or something like that, or when you took the creature or something like that in the past. That I don't know. Well, I don't think the episode doesn't sum it up too well either, does it? Really?
No, they're just there.
So yeah, because and also the Sea Devils have this kind of like bizarre time travel aspect that I didn't know Sea Devils had.
Can they time travel?
Yeah, because how did they get to Gion's ship in the episode?
They've just been there the whole time, Dan.
They're just there.
They're just there.
I suppose they are just there, to be honest.
They literally are.
They've just been woken up, or they've
they're just
so simple as that. You can easily write that away.
Earth, bro, they're there.
Yeah, you can easily do that. What else have you got then? You said you had something kind of final
at the
scene?
very end.
Yeah.
We have this Tasman scene. Doctor's like, can't not be funny. No, thank you. No, because. But not in that way. Like I want to, but I can't. I'm gonna die.
So it's very similar to the episode.
I'm gonna die.
Does she? Okay.
In my one, she tells Jazz she's gonna die, and then psychic link from the Master.
Okay, so you've decided to add a cliffhanger to yours.
Cliffhanger clip.
Okay.
Because it was a great trailer, but we needed more in that episode to push us towards, and because we're fucking losing viewers, man.
Right.
Should we talk about that later?
I don't think that the episode would have performed any better if there was like a sea level.
No.
If there was a Centenary element included.
Just something like a link from the master, or just we don't see.
I
his
like
face.
the link from the master. I think that if
we don't see his face, we just hear a word. Or
maybe shown images of what's about to happen or something, or that in the trailer the doctor's talking, or the master is talking about how
you're going to die.
You're going to die. This is the day you die, and this is being massed against you, or whatever. And because of that, I think something like maybe some kind of warning from the master would be a cool way to summarize that, to end that episode, I suppose. And then because I imagine that they're going to just be fighting against the Doctor in order to stop her.
Well,
but we don't know what the plan for the
unit is. Possibly Torchwood.
Possibly, yes. I don't know. It depends on the whole John Barrowman thing. I don't know whether I don't think they'd risk it just yet.
Bro, he did nothing wrong.
What he did in 2006.
What, he put his knob on someone's shoulder? Like, come on.
It's not the best thing, though, is it?
It's really
It's not great. I like the idea that there's some kind of lead into the Centenary, actually. What about the Tasman stuff? So the Tasman stuff you've kept the same, apart from the fact that she will actually.
I like the fact that the Doctor says, "I want to, but I can't."
I think that's the best way to handle the plot, to be honest.
That is the best way, and I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I think they can maybe allude to it, just to like tease it a little bit. You know what I mean?
They're gonna kiss.
But probably.
They're gonna kiss.
I think so, yeah. Do you know you were saying that you wanted the Doctor to tell Yaz what was going on? I don't think.
Oh yeah, I want this one to go like, I want to, but Yaz, I'm going to die. I'm going to, basically, I think
because you just talk about her, the fact that she's going to essentially live forever, and Yaz won't. And there will be a day when, there's that line when I think it's 10th Doctor, and he says that one day he'll be burying her or something like that.
Yeah. Or do you know how, like, in End of Time Part 1, the Doctor's talking to Wilf, like, I died, all of me that dies, a new person goes sweltering. I can't say man anymore, can you?
Yeah.
Goes wandering about in this new body, but I'm all dead. Basically, I want Jodie to say that to Yaz.
Yeah, but that's kind of what she says, because that line is
literally in that way, like, I am going to die. Someone will become me. You will die if you stay with me. I don't want that to happen.
So yeah, we're kind of on the same level in the respect that we're both looking for the Doctor to sort of say, this isn't.
I want to.
Yeah, I want to, but I can't because I'm an immortal Time Lord. You're a human from Sheffield.
Do you reckon we'll see Sheffield? Oh, no, we're not filming though.
I mean, Yas is dead. So
Yas is dead.
Yas will be coming back to Sheffield.
Yeah, she admitted it. Yas is dead.
I didn't see that.
What?
Yas is dead. I didn't see that. Yas isn't dead.
Yeah, Yaz is dead. She said it's been a great one, but Yaz is dead.
Yaz is dead. Yaz is dead.
What do you think will happen to Dan?
I think he'll go off with Di.
Or Ace. Oh, one other thing. Wasn't it really weird, that phone call between him and Di? It was setting up to me like Sound of Drums vibes, like someone's forcing us to do that phone call.
Really?
It did, because she was just sat there at a table like, hello.
I don't know about you, but I've never sat down to purposely make a call to someone.
No, I'm like,
and not just that, but the fact that she was listening to his voicemail and then instantly called him.
Yeah, no, honestly, it felt to me like someone was forcing her to make that phone call.
It just felt like a very weird inclusion in the episode. It shouldn't even get credited in the credits.
hello, I was just thinking about you, like sat down like this.
It feels like a very late edition, actually. It almost feels as if they'd figured out what he was going to do in the Centenary, and they thought that they could sort of like add a bit here.
Just chuck it in. Go on, she's at Arrow. Film it on the eye, film it on her phone.
Do it.
You know?
Yeah, it's not going to be a difficult thing to do. Just do a little scene where she's talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And that'll be job done.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. So, Will, have you got anything else left to say about your rewrite?
Not my rewrite, no. But I have got one thing.
Yeah.
Just a general. When should Doctor Who die?
When should Doctor Who die?
Do you think if Russell T Davies wasn't taken over, the show would have been cancelled?
No, I don't think it would be. Because from the point of view of the BBC,
Roadshow.
But from the point of view of the BBC, it's one of their best performing programs.
Dan,
no, as in like it makes them a lot of money, and
it does make them a lot of money. To be honest, and I don't think it's Doctor Who's fault. It's the BBC's advertising fault.
Yeah, oh yeah. And the fact that they've put it on a Sunday at like
no, not even that. It's the actual advertisement of it. Like, did you see once a trailer? We don't watch TV.
I saw one trailer for Legend of the Sea Devils on TV.
On TikTok, but that's because I follow # Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean?
They do. It seems to be that this is a bit of a tangent, but I'll allow it. It's a bit of a tangent, but I think that the marketing for Doctor Who seems to focus on the smaller stuff, like the little details, and not the bigger picture of it. It's like we've got that TikTok singer guy to sort of do like a version of that song.
Sick song.
That was a really cool song. Yeah, but we're not putting the trailer on TV. That's weird. We're gonna we're gonna do a niche thing where we're gonna put it on TikTok.
I'm not being funny. They need to push the Centenary trailer hard.
I hope they do.
Because
surely the
Doctor Regenerating always gets views.
Surely people are gonna watch this one.
I know I will.
And surely they've got now
are we more excited to see
spirit to it?
See, what at this point, I don't think they should have announced Russell T Davies as showrunner.
I think they should have.
I don't, because I am now literally watching it going, 2 more episodes to go, 2 more episodes to go, 2 more episodes to go. But the only reason I'm watching it now is for when he takes over. To be honest, if he wasn't taken over, I don't know if I'd watch after Jodie.
Maybe now is actually probably a better time to announce it, because we're getting really close to the end now. But I think that they did it before Flux started. It was like the summer last year.
They had to, because it was, guys, please don't abandon this show. He's coming back. It'll all be better.
Maybe, but it feels to people that it feels almost, it does feel odd compared to like other shows where, like, if you take that canoe show, the Thief, the Wife and the Canoe, that was ITV's thing on the same day. It was their big drama for that day,
right?
And it was over so many consecutive nights, and that got advertised.
Is that the one with the dead body? It just rocks up in a canoe. The boy, yeah, I've heard about it.
No, it's not. Well, he's not. He doesn't die. He fakes his death and lives in next door's house. Yeah. So, but that got advertised a lot. But Doctor Who is supposedly one of the BBC's biggest moneymakers, and sometimes maybe they rely a lot on the fans and to watch it, and less than to approach new people.
Do you think we all get
again,
Golden Era 2 when Russell T Davies comes back?
I don't know. I feel like it'd be bad to put a lot of weight on it, to be honest.
There's already so much weight.
Exactly. I fear for that weight. I fear for it. It's like when they announced the Centenary, the 60th, it's like we have two things fighting for our attention. That's supposedly these big payoffs to things, and these giant specials.
What are you more excited about?
I say I'm excited for the Centenary, but I think the 60th tops it because I know that Russell T Davies
It's written by
has a
Russell
better
T.
track record
Davies.
in finales and endings than Chibnall does, because I don't think Chibnall's written a good finale yet. I mean, I like The Vanquishers more than most people do, but yeah, that's how I. That's how I feel.
My favourite one, Battle of Ranskov Avko Kolos. Brilliant.
I liked that when it first came out, and then the more I've seen it, the more I've despised it.
Stolen Earth, just really fucking done, as in just.
I think it was more willingness to like it than anything else.
So bad.
But yes, so Will, thanks very much for joining me. I know this was a bit of a loose sort of like, we need to do a thing now. Thanks.
Now. Woo!
We need to. That was a telephone.
Sorry, Dan, you're very welcome for me coming in last second and saving this podcast because everyone else has abandoned you.
Well, it's just because I had COVID and then it was Easter and then I kind of went, oh dear, I have to do the podcast, and I didn't leave enough time to actually film it. Essentially,
I mean, don't worry, I'll film a deadline for you.
But anyway, thank you very much for listening. Remember, our podcast is available on a whole bunch of platforms, including Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcasts.
Here we go. Oh, that's my bit.
Well, go on then.
These podcasts are available on Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker.
Yep.
What?
Is that? Yeah, the Spreaker's the host.
Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts. Podcasts, I love them.
Podcasts. No, I no SoundCloud. But although I think I need to sort that out.
SoundCloud, we're a SoundCloud rapper.
I need to sort that out. But SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
There's a new one, and I can't remember it. But you don't need to.
You don't need for me to list them, and you go to every single one of these websites and search in the.
I think it's on Facebook now. I don't know.
On Facebook.
Don't know what's going on, but
follow the page, guys.
It's all on the link tree that is linked below.
On the link tree,
where there's even a highlights channel as well for highlights.
The highlight channel.
Yeah, I started off a highlights channel and used it about 6 times.
The highlights channel, guys.
I need to post on the highlights channel more because it would be really easy just to get. I think it's more approachable if it's like 6 minutes long or something like that, and then doing like 3 hours.
Again, my Twitter better be in the link tree, Dan, because any editing work still come to me.
It's not in the link tree, but it is down in the description.
Down in the description. Go in the description. Twitter, CyberWill2. Pop me a cheeky DM. Hello, Will. Would you like me to? Would you mind if you just edit me this video? Of course, mate. Don't worry about it.
Well, Will, you've got enough work to do at the minute. You've got a deadline in a day. You've got a deadline, and then you have to do this audio series for me.
Fuck.
So you've got no time to edit anything else.
Sorry, guys. If it's paid, though.
But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you soon.
In the next one.
Goodbye.
Peace.